Hey everyone. So, if you have ever experienced the feeling of rejection, whether it's losing a job, not getting that promotion, going through that bad breakup, or getting a divorce, or having that person you really want to be with not want to be with you, or have a friendship run its course and really, feeling the loss of a friend that you used to have, then this episode is for you if you've ever felt that experience of loss or rejection. And this is 3 ways to cope with rejection. I came across this really beautiful, beautiful quote. I'm not sure who said it, but I wanted to share it with you. It goes like this: "The things we lose are not losses. They are entryways. They are the world saying, sometimes sharply, there is something else out there." And I truly believe in that quote. It's not, it just, when one door closes, another opens. That is so true. But it also goes into sometimes what we believe to be the ending of something is actually the beginning of something else that's actually meant to elevate us and take us to the next level in our lives. The first way to deal with that feeling of rejection, to get to that place of awareness and knowingness that all that comes to pass is for your greater good. So if something isn't working out for you, if you get a no, if you get rejected, you can have that knowingness of, this is happening for me. This is not happening to me. So here are 3 ways to really get to that place of peace where whatever is going on, you know that at the end of the road, it is happening for your greatest good. The first thing to do is to allow yourself to grieve the loss. It's sad when things don't work out the way you want them to. It's sad and it hurts and it can be painful. And that is just the truth. We're human beings. When we really want that job, when we really want that promotion, when we really want this relationship to work out, when we really want our friendships to work out, when we really want those things to happen in our lives, when they don't, it sucks. And it is okay to acknowledge that. It is okay to acknowledge, wow, this breakup really hurts. Wow, I'm feeling really, really rejected and not good enough because, this job didn't work out the way I thought it was going to work out. Or wow, I'm feeling really lonely that, my best friend turned out to not really be my best friend after all. Those things are painful. So the trick is, allow yourself to feel your feelings, but let it be a wave, not a pool. And what I mean by that is, allow yourself to feel the sadness. Allow yourself to feel the hurt. Allow yourself to feel the pain, but do not dwell there. You have to let the sadness go. You have to let the pain go. You have to let the resentment go. You have to let it go. Honor yourself, honor your feelings, but let it wash through you. Do not let it consume you. That is the trick. When you speak to it, when you address it, it has no choice but to go away. But when you try to avoid it, when you wallow in it, when you deny it, that is when it becomes poisonous to you. And that's when you start to become bitter, cynical, pessimistic, negative. So yeah, feeling rejected isn't fun, but that's okay. You will get through it. The second way to cope with a feeling of a perceived rejection, because, I really believe in rejection protection. If something isn't working out in your life, it is God, source, universe, whatever you want to call it, protecting you from it. Just because you think something is right for you, that doesn't necessarily mean that it is. And it's also the universe's, God's, creator, source, again, whatever you want to call it, way of saying, hey, clear out this energy, create the space, because I have something bigger and more magnificent for you on the other side. But we got to get rid of wanting this job, wanting this promotion, being in this toxic relationship, spending your energy and your time with this person who really isn't your friend. We have to clear that out of the way in order to create the space and the flow of energy to bring into your existence what I have for you. So the second thing to do to get there is to think back, right? Think back to something or someone that you really, really wanted. You were like, if I could only get this, if I could only get that person to like me, love me, want me, if I could only lose this weight, if I could only get that job, if I could only X, Y, and Z, and it not work out. But then later down the line, you can see why it didn't work out. You can say, oh yeah, if I had gotten that job, then I wouldn't have, then this, and this wouldn't have happened. Or wow, if I would have stayed with that person, I wouldn't be the person I am today. I wouldn't have had the opportunities I have today. I wouldn't have the awareness that I have today. I wouldn't have the confidence that I have today. Think back to a time in your life where you really, really wanted something to happen. Then you were super bummed out when it didn't. But now looking back, you can thank God, universe, source, that it didn't happen. And you can see why it was in your best and highest interest for it not to happen. Think back. Every human being on this planet has at least one moment where they can now look back and be thankful it didn't work out. The third thing to do is to get active. Apply for more jobs, find a mentor, go on other dates, take time to date yourself, take a trip, start journaling, meditate, exercise, pick up a new hobby, get a really great therapist. Whatever it is, get active. So now that you have allowed yourself to grieve, and you don't have to grieve on your own, grieve with, a loved one or a friend that you trust, or, a therapist that you trust, or a life coach, you can always have some form of support to talk you through that grief. But now that you've talked through that, now that you have perspective by looking back on another time in your life where you can now be thankful for that thing that you wanted so much didn't work out. Now that you have perspective on that, get active from this place of empowerment, from this place of knowingness that what is for you will always be yours. Always. And I go back to what T.D. Jakes says, if someone can walk away from you, let them walk, because your destiny is not tied to the person who left. So never leave yourself, never abandon yourself just because something doesn't work out, someone doesn't want to be with you, or your friend is no longer your friend. You are still worthy. You are still enough. And your destiny is never tied to something that did not work out. So thank you for joining me for this week's episode, and go in grace, go in love, and go in joy.